it's like learning a new language.
Hmm.
So I imitate, I listen really carefully, and I try to repeat. And maybe if I do that in the forest, in live, I can imagine. It's really rich for the imagination because I don't know. I guess birds are listening to me, of course, but I don't know if they understand that I imitate because sometimes I take liberty to not do really the perfect imitation.
Welcome to For the Record, a casual, mostly unedited conversation series presented by Grainbow, where we speak with music heads about their stories and the music that makes them. I'm your host, McKeegan Voice. Today on episode 56, I chatted with Roxane Métayer. Roxane is a visual artist and musician based in Brussels. The living world and our connection to it play a central role in her creations. Her music combines collages of sound recordings captured in nature, like forests and marshes and ponds, with various wind and string instruments, especially the violin, as well as her own voice. Through imitation, she stages fictional, wildlife, and flora. She's released albums on labels like Matière Mémoire, Kraak, Morc, Primordial Void, Wabi-Sabi Tapes, and Marionnette. And her album Perlée de Sève was named one of the best experimental music selections on Bandcamp. We chatted about many of these things, but especially her relationship between music and the natural world. Hope you enjoy. Hey Roxane, it's great to have you here.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. As with all of these, I would like to start at the beginning and would love to hear a little bit more about your origins, where you're from, where you grew up, and when your relationship with music started.
Okay. So I'm French and I grew up close to Paris in a region called Yvelines. And it was nice to grow up there because it was in a forest house.
Hmm.
So, yes, I was close to the forest and I was able to walk there every day. And my parents were um, listening music, and so I guess I start to listen to it with to listen to music with them, and um, I asked my mother if I could learn violin, but I don't remember why.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What kind of music were you listening, or like what kind of music was your parents listening to?
Really eclectic, or I would say maybe close to neo folk and also rock or um, but yes, almost mostly folk, neo folk.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yes.
Cool. Do you remember, were there any particular artists or albums that, when you think back to that period, are like particularly memorable for you?
Yes. Um, we were listening at home Dead Can Dance, and maybe I don't have a specific album, but uh, I remember the ambience at home with their beginning, with the beginning of this band. Uh,
Hmm.
yes. Mm.
Cool. Cool. So then you started to play the violin, and that was your introduction to music, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Um, and you don't remember why, but it felt right?
Yeah. I'm maybe the shape of the instruments itself. Uh, Maybe that's why I was attracted by it, and also I knew that a teacher from Paris, a new teacher, wanted to learn to teach in my village. So uh, I catch the occasion. And yes.
Cool. Yeah, and you mentioned that you grew up in a home near a forest, and the natural world has been a through line for your creative career and your music path. Um, did that begin when you were a child?
I think yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you were you going into the forest with your violin? I mean, I'm curious how this connection was first formed.
I wanted to first make frames, movies with this environments, and after uh, I start to think about sound for these little videos that I was making. So I start to make music on Premiere,
Mm,
like to make collage and with my violin and other instruments, um, field recordings like that.
cool. When was that?
Sorry.
When was that? Like, how old were you when you were doing that?
Mm, around 20, I
20.
think. Yeah.
Okay. And then how did you get yeah, I'm curious how you got to that point. Like, walk me through a little bit your story with the violin and your introduction to music and how that continued to evolve and what continued to pull
Mhm.
you to to this practice.
So it's so we can say that it was the beginning was when I start to learn in my village the violin, and then I maybe my father was listening to Irish folk music um, in the car. I remember, so I was really I I really love and I still love the folk Irish music. So I start to ask my teacher, which was who was another teacher from the conservatory where I went after when I was a teenager, and so she started to give me some um, um, how do you say sheets of music, like
Mhm.
partition in French.
Yeah.
um, and of this type of music, and so it was really normally in the conservatory you learn classical or baroque music, and then I start to like make a step uh, outside of it like that, and start to want to play what I wanted to play,
Mm,
or say it like that. I start to yes be a bit. In fact, I stopped the conservatory when I was before the bachelor, and then I start again alone to play music, and now I take again lessons classical and baroque music
mm,
again.
mm. What was some of the inspiration for you, to stop conservatory to, pursue a different type of music?
What was, sorry?
What were some of the inspirations, for you to stop
Mhm.
conservatory and, move into other types of music?
I think I was starting to listen to my own music and not my parents' music. So I I felt it was a too big gap between what I was playing at the conservatory and what I was listening to for my own. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And at that point, what were you listening to?
Rock, like Patti
Mm,
Smith, I don't know, Kraftwerk, and I don't have it all. I can't remember, but maybe yes, rock or krautrock, and
Cool. Yeah, I mean, and at that point, what did you I mean, did you know what you wanted to do with music? Did you know that that's how you wanted to spend your life?
I When I was a child, I was telling my mother that I wanted to become a professional violinist,
Mm.
and then I forget this idea. But no, that's what I'm doing: concerts and music and records. So maybe I'm there.
Yeah, I think so. Um, cool. And then when did that yeah, as you continued to, pursue violin, as it started to expand into uh, different types of collaboration, whether with other people or with field recordings, y- different animal songs and things like that. Can you talk a little bit about uh, that expansion for you?
You mean all the encounters and the collaborations?
Yeah, yeah, like
Was
when that started and how those began to form and take shape.
You mean about with humans or with?
With both, whichever one came first.
Um, I first start to really play live music with a friend uh, who he was playing banjo, so we start to do concerts together like that. Our duo uh, was called Sajalit. And then I wanted to explore a bit more alone, and I wanted to see what I do without being in a duo. So I start to play music alone and with birds and insects. Uh, I would say it's because I want to talk about the forest through both my visual art and with the music. So it's really natural that I take and record these sounds as a base, as a beginning to start to play music.
Mm. And I mean, were there particular places that you discovered, different places in nature that you were already spending time in and noticing opportunities to record different bird sounds or animal sounds? Uh, I'm curious to hear about that, like your intention, when it came to the specific place where you were recording these things.
Of course, the first one and the one I want to I would say give an I don't know how to say in English. Um, to give my honor, to honor this.
Hmm.
It's forest where I grew up, and um, the last one was it was in Japan, uh, like um, in the island of Shikoku. I spent a lot of time to record insects.
Mm.
So where I was there, when I was there, it was really full of insects
Hmm.
because it was the summer, the end of the summer, but full of cicadas and full of crickets. And it starts with some walks in the forest or the countryside, and I record it. And sometimes it's like a landscape, soundscape, or I can just bring my recorder close to one source. Yeah.
Cool. Were you, were there any were th- were there any particular collagists or people who have conducted these types of field recordings, um, are there particular sound artists or composers who have inspired you in terms of how you've recorded, different animals and wildlife, either via technique or the particular emotions, that a soundscape can give you. I'm curious to hear, if if there's a lineage to your practice.
If I have some sound artists that I was inspired by, um,
Hmm.
I don't know, maybe mm, I have some. They are not artists, but they are more. I have some records, vinyl record at home with like in French. The title is "Le chant des oiseaux." That's or the songs of the birds.
Mm,
It's more like archives of uh, bird songs, and you hear um, the first phase without any explications, and the other one, a man talk, and you
mm,
hear the voice talking about which bird you are listening to.
mm.
And um, I only have that at home, but I don't see like that. Uh, Maybe one is doing that I like, Thomas Tello, a guy from Latin America who
Mm,
makes field recordings. You can hear sometimes his own family. He lives in the countryside, and so you hear his dog, and it's really like something behind or around his music. Yes.
cool. Um, cool. There's a book that I need to share with you after this that I actually got from Morc, which is a collection of different sound artists who
Mm.
have uh, used musique concrète, different techniques, and applied it to different sound recordings. It's half in English, half in French, or it's all in English, all in French. There's like a translation within. There's like 12 or 13 different composers. I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll share it with you afterwards. It's really good. I think you'd like it.
And
Uh,
now, sorry, no, you because now I remember some names.
oh yeah, yeah, go.
This Danish guy who was recording the really close um, what do you say, Igbo? I have to search. Uh, oh no. Oh, Midori Takada, maybe this percussionist. She's using also field recording. No, I have names who comes.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Um, cool. And then tell me about the human collaborators. When did that start?
Okay. Um, so um, with we have a duo with Charles Dubois, drummer. We have a residency soon, and we want to record something because for the moment we only have done some lives, um, and yes, at the beginning of the year we will record something for Codex Club. I think he wants to release an album of us, and his drummer is collecting a lot of objects and using like a second hand or some objects he found in with interesting sounds. He play music with that, and it's really playful. It's really nice to play with him. Yeah.
Cool. I'm curious. When it comes to comparing, collaboration with humans versus living beings that aren't humans, let's say. what is one thing that you prefer on the human side, and one thing that you prefer on the non-human side?
Mm, what I like when I use non-human sounds, it's that I have I have it's like learning a new language.
Hmm.
So I imitate and I listen really carefully and I try to repeat and imitate and it's like uh, maybe if I do that in the forest in live, I can imagine it's really rich for the imagination because I don't know. I guess birds are listening to me, of course, but I don't know if they understand that I imitate because sometimes I take liberty to not do really the perfect imitation. Of course, I can't with my violin, but yes, it's like learning and or interacting or going through this world that is sometimes we have the impression that it's far from human. In fact, it's all around us.
Hmm.
But yes, and with the humans, I like that we exchange without talking, but just with it's like knowing somebody without the normal communication.
Hmm. Oh, I love that. Good answer for both. um, what's you talked about, that's beautiful. You talked about it's like learning a new language, to really listen to a bird or an insect. What is your favorite new language that you've learned?
Um, just to say before answering to your question, it's that I tell that learning a new language because it's also how I feel comparing to, you know, that the birds when they are baby birds, they learn like us and they repeat the parents' sounds. So and they at the beginning they repeat but not well. So they are they try and you hear that it's not it's only in French we say pépiment
Hmm.
and then they repeat and repeat and so they repeat but not in the good situation because they are learning so they when they catch it they want to really repeat it all the time and then they know when it's the good moments to do this type of tone and that's why I compared myself to a new a beginner
Hmm.
but sorry I forget your question.
And I was just curious, what is your favorite new language that you've learned, even if you are just a beginner still in it?
um again this bio acoustic from Japan was amazing because of course I uh, didn't grew up there so
Mm.
it's really particular sounds of cicadas, maybe I would say, or crickets. They're really omnipresent there, always, and in a really big. I don't know if you've heard once.
Yeah, yeah, I have. Um, that's cool. I'm gonna try to maintain this perspective the next time that I hear crickets or cicadas. Try to understand the language a bit. Um, cool. Okay, I'd love to transition into part two of the conversation, where I ask you a bit more about your music listening. Um, and my first question for you is how you discover music. And if you could answer that question through some of your favorite curators or outlets or different platforms that you spend time with.
Mm. To be honest, I mm, it's through the labels with whom I have worked, um, and also through records that I found in secondhand shop because I'm looking really for traditional folk music,
Mm,
and for instance, the label Okora, French label Okora, I when I find one, I buy.
mm,
And, um, I but mostly I have to tell that uh, as I play music often during the day, also rehearsing the classical or baroque music or composing for myself. I the moments where when I listen to music, it's not every day. It's I I listen more to radio, in fact. But
cool.
yeah, I
Oh,
have.
oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, 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 no. Please,
I was just gonna ask if you could talk a little bit more about that label. What was it called? Okohat?
Okura.
Okoha. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, what is it about the label that you love?
This one, Okura.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It's because so I think I I don't know when it starts, but I think some music that the people from Okura recorded doesn't maybe some are not existing or it's very rare to listen to it. So I like that it's archives and I think it's the same maybe for the records of the birds that I have. I think maybe some maybe will disappear.
Mm,
So for me, it's precious to have this physical vinyl record of um, rare music played by somebody in some place in the world.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like a forgotten portal to another world or something. Um, that's cool. Okay. What is the first album you've ever purchased, if you remember? And then what is the most recent album that you purchased?
Purchased is by.
Yes, yeah.
Mm, the first one
Hmm.
is I asked my mother violin music for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
So it was, and I it's a really important one because it was a violinist called Hilary Hahn, and she was like a model for me. I don't know. So and she was playing. My mother chose Bach, uh,
Hmm.
and now I'm really happy because I am working on some Bach music
Oh,
that
cool.
and I can now play it, and so it's the first one. And the last one you
Mm.
said?
Yeah.
Maybe yesterday I have made uh, an exchange with a friend who was released by Morc tape.
Okay. A mock tape?
Morc tapes, you know, maybe this label from Ghent.
Mock
Uh,
tapes. I think I know it.
yeah. So we make an exchange. It's Linus van de Volken. Um, it's folk music, and
Cool.
so yes.
Okay, cool. I'll check it out. Um, all right, my next question for you. Who are three artists of note that you have heard for the first time in the past year or so?
Oh. Um, this year, you mean? You said
Yeah.
I should be prepared to this question.
That's all
Maybe
right.
I think it was this year. Audrey Carme, a French musician. I,
Cool.
I shared an evening with her. She was playing, singing and playing bass. Was I had her record, and we will do a residency together next year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really I I really enjoy her concert.
Cool.
Um, hmm, I don't know. Yes, Limpefuchs. It's a woman, a pianist. Maybe you know her. And I also went to a concert this year, I think, in Brussels, and she was really good at playing piano. It was really like improvisation, but really personal one.
Cool.
And the album is piano, yes, piano. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And one more?
One more. Mm, mm, mm. Maybe, but it's more. It's not one artist. Maybe you want one artist. It's a type of music.
Group is a type of music? Sure, yeah. I mean, that's like a creative answer. We can go with that.
It's music for Japanese puppet theater with shamisen, and I discovered that this year in live, and really enjoy it because it's with text tell by one person who play all the characters, all the puppets. Voilà.
Cool. Um, cool. I love that answer. Okay, now here is the big question for you. You're going to a deserted island and you get to bring three records with you. What are they?
Uh, so the record that I told you, the Bach one, uh,
Mm-hmm.
another one from Meredith Monk, but I have to choose which one because
Yeah.
really difficult. Because I think it's important to listen to voices, human voices, if you are
Yeah,
around desert.
I think
Mm.
that's true. Yeah.
And maybe one of a Congolese rumba uh,
Cool.
from maybe I think my Taboulé Rochereau. Yes, maybe that's.
Cool. That was quick. That was one of the quicker responses we've ever had. Well done.
Thank you. I, when you have to do choice, you have to be.
Yeah, yeah, you just have to like you not think about it too much because otherwise it quickly becomes overwhelming.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, cool. Well, that's about all we have, Roxanne. I mean, for people who are listening, where can people check out your music? Where can they follow along with what you're doing?
Or they on Bandcamp mostly. Yeah. And
Thank
I tell on Instagram when I play and where.
Cool. Instagram and Bandcamp. Um, great. And my last question for you, since you were the answer to this question once, now that you've been on the podcast, who is another music head that we should have on the show?
Mm, maybe maybe you can invite my duo Charles Dubois.
Okay,
Yes.
done. Cool. Sounds good. Well, yeah, thank you so much, Roxanne. This is really lovely. Thank you for spending time. Really appreciated your perspective and in your practice as it connects to nature. I think it's really cool. So yeah, wishing you well. Thank you for being here.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
All right.
Thanks everyone for being here. That is a wrap on another episode of For the Record, a conversation series with all manner of music heads about their stories and the music that makes them. It's a production of Grey Matter and the new Crate Coalition experiment in building connected listening graphs. We stamp every music mention that you heard here, from the names of musicians to DJs to journalists to venue owners. And in the background, we're mapping these names to form those yet unseen connective threads between. Want to get involved? Check out our website, greymatter.fm. It's gray with an E. Or you can come hang out in the Crate Coalition Discord. We'll see you next time.